welcome again to Highly Questionable. What do you like today, Bomani?
It's an opportunity for us to put on and represent for the skinny man.
No, not us. Vamos, papi.
Do you think Tricky Nicky really believe Clemson should be the national title favorites?
Wait, what is Clemson going to have to do to wash all the Clemson off, right? Nick Saban says he thinks Clemson should be the national title favorites, and we still react like, wait a minute, you know they're Clemson, right? Like they didn't go to the national championship game last year. But here's Nick Saban explaining why.
I think Clemson, with the quarterback coming back, because that guy's the most significantly dominant player that we played against since Cam Newton in 2010. In my opinion, in our game. And we were fortunate to be able to overcome it in the shootout. But that guy coming back for that team, I think is going to make them a very, very competitive team in terms of being in the championship, arena again.
This is interesting on a number of levels. One of them being, yes, Deshaun Watson, best quarterback in the country, but Clemson lost a lot of guys on defense last year. He would have to be the one-man band to get him there. But the thing that got her the national championship last year, people said from the beginning of the year, if Watson's healthy, they'll get there. But, Nick, do you really think they're the championship favorites? Because you say your quarterback this year, no matter who it is, isn't going to be any good. How many national championships have you won at Alabama with quarterbacks who weren't any good?
But how many times has he won a national championship against a guy that you'd compare to Cam Newton, that he's comparing in terms of dominance and potential growth and form to Cam Newton? This is based on the quarterback and nothing more. It's not much more beyond that my quarterback's not very good and their quarterback is great. Everyone knows by consensus how good Deshaun Watson already is. How good he can be is the reason he's saying that.
Well, he always says the same thing every year. I don't got the team to win it all. I don't want the team to win it all. And then he wins the championship.
Right.
I mean, that's it. He wants the pressure to be off. If he loses, well, I said, I didn't have all the things that got to have to win the championship. But if he wins, he looks like a hero. It's the same old all over again, Same old. Do you agree with Boogie Cousins that he doesn't get the respect he deserves?
Interesting week. Team USA, they're practicing, so that means you get to talk to these guys during this time where we don't have anything else to talk about on radio and television. Earlier, we found out that DeMarcus Cousins didn't really understand what the Kings are doing in the draft. Now he feels like people don't respect how good he is as a player. And let me ask this. How many people know DeMarcus Cousins averaged 27 points a game last year? If you ask somebody, is DeMarcus Cousins a top 15 player, a top 20 player, would you be able to readily give an answer? Because we don't watch him play because he's in Sacramento. We just know that he's Boogie Cousins.
His organization is a joke, and some of that laughter soaks into him. He is not respected by referees. He's often misunderstood. He seems like he's a very good player, but none of us actually know how good, despite the stats Bomani gave you, because you have to, in that league, if you're the best player on a team, you have to make the playoffs. You cannot be someone who's in the league for multiple years and not make the playoffs without us questioning you. We'll do it to even Anthony Davis, so we're sure as hell going to do it to Boogie Cousins.
Nobody cares about the King during the regular season. Now we're going to talk about them during the off season.
Well, we can't talk about them during the postseason.
Oh, that's not fair. We did care about them when we thought they were going to fully implode, and that never happened because they always disappoint.
Is Kevin Durant creating unfair expectation for Brandon Ingram?
Kevin Durant says that Brandon Ingram reminds him of Kevin Durant, so that raises the ceiling. And I basically think that what's happening here is Ingram's really skinny in college, and Kevin Durant sees a guy who shoots from far away sometimes and does so well, did better at college from three. And can see him physically growing and can see his game growing. I don't think any of us think of him as a Kevin Durant type extraterrestrial, but I do think it's interesting to imagine him growing in a way that brings him closer to Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but you can't grow into being Kevin Durant because either you got that jumper or you don't. Like the reason we're here with these discussions about Kevin Durant is how well he shoots and how quickly he gets that shot up. Also of note, by the way, at least as of right now, Brandon Ingram is really about 2.5 inches shorter than Kevin Durant. In case you forgot what a rarity Kevin Durant is, Brandon Ingram is 6'9.5", and it's unfair to expect him to grow to be as tall as Kevin Durant. But hey, man, shout out to Brandon Ingram. In 2014, he was asked who he patterned his game after. He said Austin Day, Tayshaun Prince, and Kevin Durant. He's somebody holding it down for the skinny man, whereas Kevin Durant runs away from the Slim Reaper, the greatest nickname ever made, because of his skinny self-hatred. Brandon Ingram could be a hero that the skinny children need, one I wish I had when I was a skinny child.
Hey, Brandon, you don't have to worry about anything now. The pressure is off. You know, if you got to be like Kevin Durant, you don't have to win.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Jeez, I mean, God.
How do you come behind that or argue with it?
Now that Tony Dungy, is the one saying NFL team are misusing the Rooney Rule. Will more people listen?
Yeah, Tony Dungy's kind of the Yoda of the NFL in the sense that people come to him where they feel like they need some wisdom. Like, you just got out of jail, go talk to Tony Dungy. He's got wisdom. He'll help guide your life. And when it comes to matters like these, you think maybe Tony Dungy would be somebody that folks might be willing to listen to. And what he said was the Rooney Rule was being used differently at the time of its initial implementation than it is now. That then people really were taking time and doing searches and interviewing candidates that they may not have otherwise, and then wound up being pleasantly surprised. Now he says teams are basically deciding before the process starts who they're going to hire, and then they bring in this Rooney Rule interview just to satisfy some level of requirement. He's right in large part that that's how this happens. The funny part to me is the whole idea of hiring coaches who you already know have been coaches before. Just about every NFL coach has one thing in common: that they don't have a job. They got fired from the last one.
Tony Dungy is just about the most credible person you will find on this subject. In the last couple of decades, 43 sport to coaching positions come from the Tony Dungy coaching tree. So if you were going to listen to anybody, this is the guy that you would listen to. However, when you are as rich and powerful as the people who run the NFL, you don't have to listen to much of anybody, because we've got this rule. We shout about it on television. We give you all the numbers about all the minority hires that aren't being made, and nothing changes over 2 decades. They're not listening to anybody on this. It doesn't matter how credible.
One thing, though, to be fair to those owners, they're not the ones that are making all of these decisions. Not everybody's bringing up a list with black dudes to the owner. The owner sends back all the white dudes. There's some people not nearly as rich and not nearly as powerful who are doing the exact same thing.
Now that Brock Lesnar failed the second test, should the UFC give his $2.5 million fight purse, to the guy he beat?
Who is arguing this other than Mark Hunt, the guy that he beat? Nobody would make this argument. Nobody tuned into that fight to watch anything other than Brock Lesnar be bigger than the octagon and go in there, steroided out or not, with lats bigger than any lats you've ever seen. This fight and this purse was all about him being the main attraction on that event and pummeling someone. Mark Hunt wants the purse. It's ridiculous for him to want it.
Although I do have to say this, if you were going to give Brock Lesnar all that money so that he could get roided up and then beat me up, if I find out he's then roided up, don't you feel like I deserve a little extra money for the beating that I was asked to take for all of you guys' entertainment? Maybe not the whole $2.5 million purse, but the worst thing they can do is say no.
Who the hell is going to take any money away from that guy? Are you kidding me?
That's a good point.
Nobody's going to take any money away. You want somebody to get killed? He's going to keep all that money.
That's what he has to do. You go to Brock Lesnar's house and you demand.
That's right. You do that and see what happens to you.
Go ahead and find him, Dana White. You'll leave without your
with a
head.
gun in your hand.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
Oh, really? Come on, man. She's looking for a peaceful, tranquil mental place in yoga. I mean, she should be mad about that.
I'm going to shove it up your...
Do you question this race layout?
All right, July, ladies and gentlemen, we go to a race layout that we're going to question in Belgium.
Marathon. Somebody
Somebody
should be playing a Chariots of Fire. Oh!
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 That sound! Oh! Layout? No. I mean, that's clearly marked.
And it caught him in the abdomen first before it got to the solar plexus. That's the end of the marathon right there. That's the end of it. We ain't walking to the end.
Can I just hear that sound again, please?
Yikes.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I don't run in marathons, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
me
the
too.
reason for
Me
it.
too.
You got to be
Yeah.
very careful when you make a turn like that.
I'd be
you
a
know?
Kenyan marathoner if not for those things.
Do you question if this driver deserve it?
Wow. This could be a catastrophe. What's it going to be?
We got a skateboard and a $250,000 car.
Ooh, there's the flare.
What just happened there?
Oh! Whoa.
Sorry, bud.
The best part, though, is the driver is not even the one chasing him down the street. It's a passenger.
Can I see that again, please, from the sound on? I want to hear the sound.
And yo, you got to at least wait for your partner to come back. He's out fighting. Here we
Runs
are.
the stop sign. Skateboarder's mad. Woo! I want to ask you a
And
question.
immediately recognize the error of his ways, by the way.
I mean, but Bomani, can I just ask a question about how not well thought out this was? After you hit the skateboard on the windshield, shouldn't you get on the skateboard to get away faster?
I was just about to mention that.
Like,
Do you question if this marriage will last?
if this made the show, Bomani, their chances are that this is going to be video footage that suggests this marriage is not going to last. What do we got?
God!
That's a Nerf gun.
God. If you hit me at close range with that, oh, you're.
I mean, this guy. She knows it's coming. She doesn't think it's funny.
It's not being funny about 4 shots
Oh,
ago.
I mean, this is not shared laughter.
Oh, God! Bless! Oh, God! God! Are you serious right now? Stop it! God, you're the most annoying person on this entire freaking planet.
He's still not done?
I mean, how long is this video, man? Oh, really? Come on, man. She's looking for a peaceful, tranquil mental place in yoga. I mean, she should be mad about that.
I'm going to shove it up your.
He has to have a secret charm. I can't believe that she's going to hang around with that guy if he doesn't have
mean,
something
what is
that
the secret
is
charm?
worth it.
I don't
is
think you
annoying.
guys want to consider what it must be.
That is annoying.
Highly questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Dance floor, do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg. If you wire up, do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg. Coming up next on my son's TV show, we have exciting video of something amazing. My son's TV show is brought to you by Mobile One, extended performance, synthetic motor oil. Time for another one of my seductive interview medleys.
They're not terribly seductive, but they're just some interviews that we've done over the weeks and months. Here are some of the best bits from those interviews. I got a couple of true or false questions. True or false, you had $1 million cash that you actually slept on. You slept on $1 million
I
cash.
still sleep
True or-
on $1 million cash. That's just a infatuation for me in life. I do that, and I'm gonna do that till I die.
Just cash? Just
I'm gonna do that till I die. I got $1 million on my mattress, under my sheets. I just feel the need to do that. I was fortunate to be blessed to be able to do it, and I sleep on it every night with my Versace bedspread on top of it.
Hold on, so the cash is in between the mattress and the sheets. Like, that doesn't
Yeah.
sound very comfortable, Birdman. Like, that
It don't
sounds like it
matter.
moves around when you roll around.
No,
I
well,
mean,
you
you
got-
make too
you
much
got
money
the
to not be
mattress.
comfortable in your bed, man.
Man, I got my bed is 3 California Kings, man. It's from end to end. You can't even sleep in it. You can roll over and roll the other way and still don't be in the middle of it.
But not a lot of people are allowed in that room, or is it just known that there are guns in that room and nobody is going to actually touch any of that money?
Well, if you coming in that room, you're gonna get the business. Either way it goes.
Okay. Why and how did it come to be that he shot you in the head with a bow and arrow?
Okay, so in our neighborhood, Cliffy DeCourcy, who lived across the street, his parents Now think about this. This is downtown Worcester, Mass. We lived in downtown Worcester, Mass. His father buys him a hunting bow and arrow set for Christmas, okay? So I was doing a shortcut to my house through an alleyway, and there was like a wooden garage door at the end of the alley. And as I came through, I heard my brother go, "Hey," and I looked up, and my brother has a bow and arrow, and right as I'm looking at him, he lets it go, and the thing goes right into my head. And then I see him and Cliffy run in two different directions. So I have a hunting arrow in my forehead. You can still see the scar here. Probably, I don't know if you can see it. So I'm like, I'm like you guys. For the first minute, I was like, wait a minute, is there an arrow in my head? What the hell's going on? So I climb up the back stairs of the three-decker and I walk in. By the way, it didn't really hurt that much until I got upstairs and my Uncle Jerry was sitting there having a beer and he looked over at me and he went, and as soon as he pulled it out, there's blood just spurting everywhere. So anyways, the backstory was Cliffy's dad bought him the bow and arrow because they were going to go hunting. He told them not to use it in the neighborhood, obviously. And my brother and Cliffy thought it would be a brilliant idea for them to go outside and shoot the bow and arrow, you know, into the garage. But when my brother saw me, I think what he was doing, he was saying, "Hey, move out of the way." But of course, I froze like a deer in the headlights. But the best part about the story is my brother tried to deny it was him and said it was Cliffy DeCourcy. And I was like, dude. And then Cliffy became a very reputable fireman and then eventually a fire chief in the city of Worcester, Massachusetts. And whenever I needed backup on that story, he'd go, "I remember, it was your brother. I ran one way, he ran the other." But I'm lucky, I concede today.
Time to play the game that smells like a corpse. See or no?
What? You tell us what's on television tonight. We'll tell you if we're intrigued.
On the MLB Network, Astros and A's.
I wouldn't say we do a great job of baseball coverage on this show in between the lines, but we've got you covered on foul balls. What do we have here?
Again, not everybody likes it.
There it is.
But it has.
Ouch. Yeah, that is how anybody would react to that situation. I mean, that is a scalding foul ball that catches the concessionaire.
Right in the keister.
Right there. Number 104. Concessionaire 104. Bomani, are you intrigued?
Nah, usually an interleague matchup like this would get me excited, but not so much.
Really? Poppy,
Wait.
yeah.
It is interleague, right?
Yeah. Poppy, are you intrigued? Not anymore.
See, I'm very intrigued, but you know, it could have been worse.
Oh, what do we got here?
I'm afraid.
Fouled by Taylor.
Then we start off with the double. Ow! My father is so right. It could have been worse. Right off the top. Ow! Man, that ball bounced a long way off of a human
They got to
skull.
give them helmets if they're going to be out there selling, food and stuff in the stadium. Third base coach get one. I don't see why they don't.
On NBC Sportsnet, the Tour de France.
Oh, they keep asking us about Chris Froome and the Tour de France, and all we do is want to cover spectators running alongside bicycles. What do we have?
On the second day of the race, behind the poker face of this Colombian cyclist, he's never given anything away. We've always suspected he hasn't been.
Oh, there's the guy. Yes. Wait a minute, that was very quick. Wait a minute, when did you guys just sneak in there? You guys got to slow that down. You guys, there it is. There it is. Oh, I'm sorry, I asked for that to be slowed down. What was I thinking? Bomani, are you intrigued? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I did that to all of us. I'm sorry. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. I think that someone is late for the waxing appointment. You know what I mean?
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
I'm more disturbed that you know what you mean.
No. What just happened?
On Discovery Life, grandmother lovers.
Oh, what? Grandmother.
Yeah, grandmother lovers. Look who just woke up over here. It's like an area. Let's see what we've got.
Love is in bloom across several generations.
When I'm around him, I don't feel like it. I'm 90.
More than ever, elderly women are finding happiness with much younger men.
The best part about it is you get them when they're at their best.
These older women have been rejuvenated by their young companions.
This is my Virgin 90 for Kyle. This is a granny one, but it's very sexy looking, whether it's granny looking or not. Of course, none of them stay all long. I think they think we're maybe grandson and grandma until we stop and kiss.
When you're dating younger men, you know that it's not going to be a lifetime situation. Well, it might be for me, because who knows when I'll die.
That's a funny line. At the end, I also enjoyed the work of Bud Grant with a wig over there. Bomani, are you intrigued?
Gotta say, at the beginning, I was a little disturbed. By the end, I was totally respecting that lady's gangster. She's just like, look, this ain't for life unless I die. And if she dies, what a way to go.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
See, I'm very intrigued. But listen, I got a message for all you guys. Stay away from my women, you know? Guys like me, we don't need that type of competition.
How about you just start spending a little more money and get you women the same age as those dudes?
And stop getting those $8 haircuts.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Gracias. See you mañana.
We leave you today with a dog that eats like my son.
This is Bubba, and this is a bean burrito from Taco Bell. Let's see if Bubba wants a bean burrito. Gonna get it? Gone.
Oh, that's exactly
Good
exactly
boy,
how I would
Bubba.
eat that. Yeah, I would eat it just like that.
That's gonna be a disaster.
I'm going to go do that right now.
Bubba, Baba.